Right. Hi guys, and welcome. So we've got a guest on today. His name's Josh. I'll get him to introduce himself in a moment. But Josh is really successful. He gave me a kick up the arse a few times, to be honest. We've been working together for, I don't know, a year, is it?
Yeah, about a year now.
So do you want to give the guys just a quick intro into who you are?
Sure. So my name's Josh. I'm 25 years old. I'm an online coach. And I'm just trying to grow my business as far as I can do, try and work as many people as I can as well. And the goal this year, as Joe knows, we're moving to Australia as well and taking our business fully worldwide at the moment. So yeah, it's all exciting things at the minute, Joe.
Cool. How did you get started? So do you want to tell people what you do as a job and then how you got there?
Yeah, sure. So in the minute I work with people that want to lose weight, they want to tone up, they want to gain confidence. So I work with, if you can look at a typical demographic, the type of people that go to like a slimming club or work with like the body coach. So your average Joe that want to drop a dress size or lose a couple of inches on their waist, or just getting that confidence so they can go and ask that girl out on a date or have that confidence to go and smash that interview. So I like to work with those type of people because it's a lot more than just that physical transformation of losing weight. It's actually changing their lives, and they're the type of people that I like to work with. I started in the industry when I was 18. So I was an apprentice, sweeping the floors, cleaning the treadmills. Do you want me to look at the camera?
That's right.
Yeah, just started as an apprentice. I was on £100 a week. So yeah, really not a lot of money. I was on £100 a week, and my mum and dad used to charge me £150 a month board. So I was literally on about £250 a month, and all of that just went on alcohol, to be honest, and just going out and just being a young lad at the time. But yeah, just literally lived in the gym, and then got my qualification. I actually failed as a personal trainer when I went on my own, because like a lot of other personal trainers, they think, oh, £30 an hour, and me coming from someone that was on just £100 a week to £30 an hour was obviously one of the biggest increases you'll probably ever get. And I just took it for granted because I had a lot of people that knew me in the gym. They just came to me. I didn't really have any sales experience, any business experience. I just had this huge increase in money immediately, probably a little bit too soon before I'd learned any lessons. And after 6 months, I actually moved to another gym. I thought all my clients would come with me. They didn't. My business failed. Ended up going through quite a lot of depression. I don't know how much information you want me to go through, but I'll just talk you through the whole process.
As much as you're willing to give, yeah, that's some interesting stuff.
Went through quite a bit of depression, was drinking quite a lot, wasn't training, just kind of let myself go quite a lot really. And then I got a job, I had to get a job because I had no money coming in, still got bills to pay. I got a job with David Lloyd, so quite a big gym brand in the UK and across Europe as well, and worked in the sales department where I finally got a little bit of business knowledge, a little bit of sales knowledge through there as well. Ruthless in a corporate company as well, because no one actually really cares about you. I was on 16 grand a year, so really not a lot of money because a lot of sales jobs are the bare minimum, and then it's literally just commission after that. So you just trying to earn your stripes as it goes, and just kind of got that sales knowledge through there. And then I landed a job as a general manager for a personal training studio because of my acromens working in the sales department. So I managed to get that job where I managed a team of, I think there was 7 or 8 personal trainers in that studio. And it's very recently that I've been working for myself. I started working with Joe not long after I started working by myself. I just got to a point where with David Lloyd, I'd made the company 400 grand in a year, and then I made my personal training studio about 120 grand, small personal training studio. So within the space of 2 years, I've made £500,000 for other companies, and I probably came out with 16 grand to about 24 grand in commission working for David Lloyd's, and then something similar working as a general manager. So I'd made 10% of what I'd actually brought in for those companies, and I was doing all of the work. So it kind of hit a point with COVID as well. I was like, do you know what? I need to start bringing this bringing the food to my table as it goes. So yeah, just took the hit, took the risk, gone on my own. Haven't looked back ever since, mate. It's just been exciting ever since.
That's a super cool story, man.
That's me.
Yeah, and it's quite inspirational. Like I said, the minute we started working together, and you had all of these funnels set up and this email chain for weeks and weeks, and then backup programs and courses and ideas to membership sites, and it was literally like you was non-stop, you was on everything, which is really, really good to see. What I did just want to highlight though to you guys, so you may well be thinking, well, Josh is an online coach, I do social media marketing, but how you get yourself out there is all the same, and the marketing principles remain, and Josh knows his avatar of his client down to a T.
Yeah.
The first thing Josh said was so descriptive about his target audience, and that's what you need to really, really nail down. If you don't know who you're marketing to inside out, then you've got no chance of selling anything to them.
No.
So that was the first thing that really, really shone there, and it's really relatable to you guys in the group, because I always bang on about knowing your client avatar and selling to the right demographic. So that's cool. Sorry to get my phone out all the time, I just wrote some notes on here, so a bit unprofessional, but
So good.
We've gone through how you got started. So why did you decide to go, I know you've already touched on it, but why did you decide to go self-employed rather than work for someone else to be secure?
I think it was my last employment job where I was literally managing the whole business. I was managing the gym, I was helping other personal trainers grow their businesses, and the whole time I was helping all of these people, and they were all earning more than me from the help that I'd put in. Like the gym was doing very, very well, the personal trainers were doing very, very well, and I was there on like 20 to 24 grand a year. Not a lot of money for running that business and bringing that money in. So it just kind of hit a point where I felt like I was being taken advantage of a little bit, and I've got life goals that I wanted to hit. I wanted to change my life, and not just myself, but for my wife as well. And I just needed to do that for myself. I just needed to take everything that I knew, everything that I've tested it. All of the things that I was doing was obviously working because it was right in front of me. The results were there. So I just needed to take away everything that I learned and just put it into my own craft.
Yeah, that's super cool. And you've said a few things to me about how you can think that a 9 to 5 is super secure. So you guys all know that I have a 9 to 5. It's not quite a 9 to 5, but I have a corporate job. And you do often think that a corporate job security, when they could just cut you any minute and they wouldn't think twice of it, because essentially you're just a number.
Yeah.
So yeah, we spoke about that before, and that was a bit of an eye-opener for me, because I do always feel like the 9 to 5 is the security you need for your family, and sometimes it's just not what it actually appears to be.
No, nothing is secure, and it's like I spoke to you before we jumped on this video. Like when you're employed, you might think that you're secure, but when you've got the power is in your employer's hands, in your boss's hands. Whereas when you're self-employed, you're working for yourself. Every single outcome of the business is down to your hard work and what you do.
Right guys, super unprofessional, but my SD card actually got filled up halfway through our interview, so we've already done this once. Josh was just talking about the benefits of being self-employed over employed. Do you want to just carry on the tail end of that if we can?
Yeah, sure. We were talking for about half an hour after the camera cut out, so I'll try and re-jog our memory a little bit what we was talking about. But yeah, I think when it comes to being employed versus being self-employed, a lot of people, they're brought up by the older generation to get a job, work that 9 to 5, work your way up in that company, and then retire comfortably after that. And to a lot of people's eyes, that's the secure route to go down. But how I always look at it, you're not necessarily as more secure being employed than you are being self-employed, because when you're employed, that security lies with your boss's hands. The power is in his hands. He can cut you, he can demote. I can't get the words out. Is it demote you rather than promote you?
Yeah.
He can demote you.
Yeah.
The power's in your boss's hands. Whereas when you're working for yourself, the power's in your hands. So if you want your business to do well, if you want your business to grow, it's all in your hands. You have to put the work in. If your business fails, it's because you failed. It's because you didn't do something. The whole power lies on your shoulders. It's not somebody else's fault or somebody else's power. So that security for me, working self-employed, is much bigger of an odd for me, and I would always take that route of working for myself, because I've only got myself to blame, or I've only got myself to give myself a pat on the back with if I do well. So that's the biggest difference for me. It's not necessarily more secure to be employed.
Definitely, and that's been an eye-opener for me. I mean, I'm a big advocate of staying in an employed job. I don't promote it, don't get me wrong, but I've almost kept myself in a corporate position because it's job security, it pays for them all. So all of my life is paid for by my corporate job, so everything else is a bonus. But it's definitely opened my eyes to that, and I think sometimes when you've got deadlines to meet, and if your deadline is you've got to close 2 clients this month, you've got to outreach to 1,000 people, you're going to hit them, you know? Like, it's all about setting yourself these targets, and if you know there's added pressure of your mortgage relies on it. Yeah. Not that I condone anyone puts himself in that position, you should always have a backup of finances. But it does open your eyes to it, because essentially in a corporate role you're just a number, and they could chop you at any point and no one would lose any sleep over it, and essentially you're just earning their money for your hard work.
Yeah, precisely.
So yeah, I think the next thing we talked about was any advice you've got, if you could talk about anything that's not gone particularly well within your business, what lessons you've learned?
Lessons I've learned, I think, like we touched on, I'm trying to think about what we spoke about, but I think mastering your perfect avatar is the biggest thing. I know Joe's spoken about it in the group to you guys quite often as well, because he's going to be putting this video in the group, I think. Yeah, putting this video in the group. But a lot of people think they know their avatar, but do you really know your avatar? So I'll just use me as an example of who I speak to. So every time I create a piece of content, every time I create like a new program, a new service, every time I talk to anybody on social media, I think of Sally. And Sally is my avatar. Sally was one of my first personal training clients when I started out in the industry. And I know everything about Sally, which gives me the high ground, because I know everything about my avatar, and I mean everything. So Sally, for example, a member of Slimming World 4 or 5 times. She joined me as a personal training client, left me, went to Slimming World, came back to me. So she's always trying new things, but she's never creating those sustainable results. She wakes up every single morning, has a bowl of cereal, has a coffee, goes to work 9 till 5. She's always kind of tempted by biscuits, by cakes and stuff in the office by other people, because she works in office jobs, so she's very sedentary. By the time she finishes her job at 5 o'clock, she doesn't really have a lot of energy to go out and train, so she has to push herself to do additional exercise. She gets home and she's tempted by her husband's meals, her kids' meals, and she really struggles staying in her own lane, because she's constantly being consumed by what other people are doing. I know everything about Sally. I know what Netflix shows she watches, I know what time she goes to bed, I know when she has her shit. I know everything about Sally. So I think the biggest thing, I know Joe always talks about know your avatar, know your avatar, know your avatar, but honestly, know your avatar. Don't just think about, oh, I want to help people. That as a coach's perspective, there's so many coaches out there that say, I want to help people lose weight. It's too broad. Who are you helping? Like, who is that perfect avatar that you want to work with? Where is the problem? Specifically, where is the problem? It's not just, I want to help people get stronger, or I want to help people get more clients, or I want to help someone buy a house, or whatever industry you're in. Really niche down and be very, very specific with that person. And for me now, it's just so easy when I'm creating content and I'm talking to people, because I just think, Sally, yeah, I'm talking to Sally. That's who I'm talking to, and it just makes things so much easier. So that's probably the biggest lesson that I've learned, not just working for myself, but coming up in the industry to this point as well. I think that's the biggest thing that's made me selling my services a lot easier, because I'm very specific with the problem that I'm the solution to.
Josh, that's a crazy amount of granular detail. That is exactly where you need to be. Like, there's no way Josh can't sell something to that person, because he knows Sally so well. It's like selling to your mum. Like, you know them that well.
Yeah.
But well, you actually had your mum on your program at one point, didn't you? But
my mum is like Sally, actually.
But you just can't go wrong, and that's where so many people fall down. They're saying, "Oh, well, I'm going to target dentists." Okay, well, what services do they provide? What's their demographic? What does the average dentist look like? Where do they hang out? Once you know all these things, it makes everything from advertising to speaking to them all fall into place.
Yeah, it's like if you're an estate agent, okay, what do? I sell houses, I sell properties. Okay, right, is it detached, semi-detached, is it apartment, how many bedrooms does it have, how many bathrooms does it have, what's the square footage? Niche down and really get into the detail of your avatar, and it just makes things so much easier. So much easier.
Totally agree. Yeah, I mean, I've not actually paid Josh to say that, or plugged in to say that. That is just how successful people get so successful, because they know their avatar and they niche down and they target them really, really successfully. So moving on, I want to talk about outreach methods. So a lot of the guys in the group struggling with outreach, and it's a pain in the arse. I get it. But I've said it 1,000 times, you can't target someone with an impersonal method and expect to get results for a personal service. So yeah, you're selling your $1.99 fidget spinner. You may send a blanket email out to 1 million people and get a few bites, but when you're selling like a service for £1,000 or like a coaching service for £100+, you need to be a bit more personal. So how have you gone about your outreach? How have you had the most success?
Again, it's putting yourself in Sally's shoes again. Okay, what social media platforms does Sally use? So my typical avatar is anywhere between 30 to 50 years of age, but everything that I've just spoken about. In that age bracket, still use Facebook mainly, and they use Instagram. They're not dancing on TikTok, they're not on Snapchat, sending snaps to people, they're not on those social media platforms. So I know I need to focus all of my energy on Facebook and Instagram. And they're the only two places that I'm at, because they're the only two places that I need to be at. So all I do is message 100 people every single day, and I've been consistent with that across a year. And you'll probably get 100 no's before you get a yes, but it's all about just introducing yourself, telling that person that you are the solution to the problem that they might have, and just doing that 100 times every single day. It sounds monotonous, it sounds boring, but that consistency, I mean, we've just been shooting today. Joe's been helping me shoot some bits for my business today, and I just got a sale come through my Apple Watch. I got a coaching sale just come through, and that doesn't just happen automatically. That's after a year of consistency, and then I'm only just starting to get random sales just come through. I've not even spoke to that lady who signed up for £100 a month package today. Don't even know who she is. But that consistency is what's allowed that. It hasn't come from nowhere. That's 100 messages every single day, 100 on Facebook, 100 on Instagram, day in, day out. And that's the biggest thing that you need to take away, especially from organic outreach methods, without spending a penny on ads.
Yeah, I hope that's made your jaw drop, because that's what it takes. Like, people talk about success and they're willing to do anything it takes, but how many messages are you sending? Are you spending 2-3 hours a night watching Netflix and then complaining you haven't got enough time, or your outreach is not working? That leads me on, actually. This is something I teach my guys to do. Do you analyse your outreach? Do you tweak it? How do you go about perfecting your outreach methods?
I think it's tweaked over time with the more sales that I've got in my time management. So I've actually just brought another coach onto my business because I'm struggling a little bit with time now, obviously delivering that service. So when I do outreach now, I literally just introduce myself and say, I'm always here if you need my help, because I don't need to be as pushy anymore, because they're just naturally starting to come in through referrals and stuff, because I've built that, I've done that groundwork now. Sorry, what was the question?
It was outreach. How do you tweak it? Do you analyse? Like, do you
analyse
through rates? Or?
Yeah. So what I used to do when I started, because a lot of you are looking for like your first 10 clients, aren't you? Is literally write down. Okay, I've done 100 messages today. I've wrote down how many replies I've had. So people that have just acknowledged my message, and I've wrote down how many people that book in for a phone consultation with me. I write down all of my sales. So let's say, for example, because my old figure used to be 200 messages for one sale. That's what mine used to be. So I knew, okay, if I want another coaching client, I need to message 200 people. And then when you know your numbers that well, it just becomes a lot easier to like hit your targets and hit what you're working towards on a weekly or monthly basis, because you know your numbers. And then if you just try and error a little bit. That's what I used to do. I used to try different messages. So I used to try messages where I used to be quite pushy with my sales. I used to try messages where I was a little bit more relaxed and just let them come to me a little bit more, but still outreaching. Just try and do a bit of trial and error, and then just analyze the numbers. And the best numbers are the ones where you can identify, okay, I only need to message this amount of people to get a sale. That's the bottom line. And I got mine down to, bear in mind I charge £100 a month for my one-to-one coaching service, so it's not necessarily a cheap product, it's not necessarily an expensive product. But for my sort of niche, again, my niche, they're typically spending £20 to £30 a month on like slimming clubs, etc. So one-to-one coaching was triple what they're currently paying at the moment. And mine was down to 200 messages for one sale, and that's what I ended up getting mine down to. So yeah, definitely a lot of trial and error, and just know your numbers. Just know your numbers as much as possible.
Yeah, I think the key things to pick up from there, which I thought about straight away, was the fact you're reaching out and just telling them you're there if they need you. That's the same as us, as social media marketers, sending an email saying, I want to provide your business with some value, and not even asking to book a call. So I'm a big advocate of saying to a business owner, I want to review your marketing. I don't even want you to book in a call. I don't even want to mention a call, don't want to mention an automated calendar or anything they've got to do. I want to just provide them with pure value before I even dream about asking them for anything. So
100%.
It's just about being there. And I hope those numbers again just made you think, wow, this guy is committed and he's put the work in to get where he is. And the automation systems, we all want these automation systems. But don't try for them off the bat, you know. You don't want to be going for this wild automated email sequence or this posh website that does all this stuff before you've been deep and dirty in your own industry and just got the results.
Yeah, that's
through hard work.
That's it.
So I think that's pretty much the same sort of stuff we covered last time, and just want to end on some words of wisdom for the viewers,
words of wisdom
for the group.
It's a weird sort of interview for me, because I don't feel like I'm anywhere near my goal yet. I still feel so early on. It's like you said, 99% might look at what I'm sort of earning, and that was it. It was the followers, wasn't it? Did we get? I think we recorded the followers.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I'll come to that after. So yeah, if you.
Yeah. So we. What was I going to say then? Sorry, my mind drifted when I just remembered what we spoke about before the camera cut out. But I think the biggest sort of takeaway from this is just show up. Just try and be everywhere all of the time, and don't try and be too broad with that either. For example, you could really niche down. Again, I'll bring up mine as an example. My niche that is so detailed, Sally. I know everything about Sally, but it's not a saturated small niche that I'm working towards just because I've made it really detailed. There's still an abundance of people out there. And for example, if you just want 100 clients out of 40, 50, 60, 100,000 people that are in that detailed niche, it's really not a lot of people to make your business really successful. So yeah, straight away, niche down, and actually niche down. Don't just say I know my avatar without knowing, or know that person like it's your family member or your best friend. Know everything about them. It'll just make things a lot easier. And the second point I want you to take away from this is just show up. there'll be so many people that follow you online and follow you on social media. They see you every day if you're showing up, that will never approach you because they're too scared, they're too shy to. So just show up, just introduce yourself. Just you saying, hey, my name's Josh, I do this, this and this, I can help you do this, feel free to message me at any point. That's all you have to say sometimes, because you're sparking that initial, you're breaking through that barrier of, I don't know whether to message that. Oh, they seem to be doing really, they could really help me. They've got the solution to my problem, but oh no, I'm too shy. There's so many people that are like that. So just reach out, just introduce yourself, just have those conversations, and don't be afraid of no's, because like, what's the worst that's going to happen? A no's not a bad thing, is it?
No, exactly.
I get no's every day, so just means I'm reaching out, I'm doing my job. So don't be afraid of those no's and just reach out. So know your avatar, and yeah, just get out to as many people as possible.
Yeah, and that's super relatable in our industry. Again, it's just providing the value, reaching out to people, introducing yourself, let them know who you are, what your services are about. You don't need to be salesy. We are so saturated with salesmen at the minute, and bad salesmen. It's giving everyone a bad reputation. So you need to try and be different, and that different, I think you can't go wrong with being a nice person, you know, offering something. That's in life as well as business. Yeah, that just brings us on. I just wanted to say, like, Josh is a super cool guy. Like, I learned a lot from him.
Oh, thanks, man.
No, you have, honestly. When we first started working together, you actually lit a fire at my house, and it was like, fucking hell, he's got all these different automation systems, he's got all this shit on one side, he's always trying these new things, he's not scared to spend money on his own education. You're a big believer in that? Like, he actually shocks me sometimes when he's like, I've took part of this mastermind, or I'm in this group and I've paid this amount. Like, wow, that's a lot of money, but you've got to invest in yourself. Fair enough, watch these YouTube videos, get yourself off the ground, but as soon as you start getting some serious money coming in, you want to start investing in yourself if you want to progress. So that was cool. And then Josh also, I think on the last video before it cut out, we spoke about how it's not necessarily like you could be the guy with the most money, it doesn't make you rich. And material things don't make you rich. Like, Josh has never really been into his material things. He actually shocked me because he went and bought a Jaguar. Do you want to give him the little story about that?
The Jag story. It was Joe that started it. Joe bought a new Jag, so I wanted a new Jag. No, but I've never really been materialistic, and like, we have this conversation all the time. There's different elements of people's lives that make people happy, and a lot of people, they do strive for buying a house, like having a nice car, getting married, having kids, etc. And for me personally, if that makes you happy, that's amazing. If that makes you happy in life, that is awesome. But make sure you're staying in your lane and not being influenced by other people should make you happy, if that makes sense. So for me, I've always been brought up, get a job, so be employed, get a car, get married, buy a house, have kids. And for me, I bought this new car, and I was driving it back from the dealership, brand new Jaguar, and I was like, I should be a bit more excited than this. I wasn't excited. I actually got home, and my wife Jen will tell you this story. I got home and I was like, okay, what's next? I wasn't actually enjoying it, and it was kind of, I don't regret it, because it was kind of the kick up the arse that I needed to be like, okay, Josh, stay in your lane, because you've kind of been sucked into these material things that are costing you a lot of money, but they're not necessarily making you happy. So we've actually had a complete shift in what we're working towards now as a couple. So I've actually brought my wife on as a coach in my business, because I'm kind of at my capacity now, so I need that additional help. And we're moving country, so we're moving to Australia this year. So we're taking our online business to a different environment, because I will be much happier rolling around on my skateboard on a beach, having a couple of cold ones on the beach, watching the tides come in, than I would do with my Jaguar. And I think that's really, really important for people to listen to. Don't be influenced by what other people think you should do. I mean, we told our parents that we were moving away, and my own dad was like, I want you to be established, I want you to buy a house. And my argument was, why does a house make me established? And the older generation can sometimes put that on you, And it's really hard to kind of break away from that, but it's really important to stay in your lane, because you're only really like a blip in existence. So just do what makes you happy, live your life, and just have fun, just enjoy it. And don't get sucked into those material things that appear to make people happy, because they don't. I just watched a podcast actually with, do you know Paul Moore?
No.
He's an email marketing guy, really, really good, you should look into him. And he went through depression. He walked past the cliffside 11 times in Marbella. He'd just made his first million, got a brand new car, like amazing business, got staff under him. He nailed the 4-hour work week, and he was walking past the cliffside 11 times because he wanted to jump off, because he felt like he had no purpose, because he got the nice car, he got his first million in the bank, he got his family, he got everything.
Yeah.
But as soon as he hit that goal, he was like, because that's all he's been striving for, and so he wasn't enjoying what he was doing day to day. That was his goal, that was his drive, that's all he worked for day in, day out. As soon as he hit it, he had no purpose, and it was just really, really interesting to watch, because it's not all about money, and money doesn't make you happy. Going off on a bit of a tangent there, but it's a really good one to watch, and it does open your eyes. So just stay in your lane, and don't be influenced by what other people are doing, or what you see on Instagram, or what you see on social media, what you see your friends doing, your family members doing, what they tell you to do. Just do what you want to do, and stay in your own lane.
Yeah, I think a few key points, like the one that's just popped up in my head is, we see people on YouTube who are like 10k months, 100k months, and I'm not even sure a lot of them are real. Like, I think a lot of them are faking it, I'll be honest. Like, I've had calls with people and I've asked them about their numbers, and they've just crumbled. And that's about me getting coaching from them to learn how they got to where they are, and they've absolutely crumbled. I think there's a lot of frauds out there, and it's easy to get caught up in this, I should be at 10k, so 10k months like this big thing at the minute. Everyone's striving for the 10k months. Like, I've turned down promotions at work because I know that I'm going to get 5% more salary. That's going to give me probably 50% more stress, and I'm going to lose 10 hours a week. That's not a good trade for me. So, yeah, this isn't entirely been brought on by Josh, but I've definitely been having a different outlook. Once you're at an amount of money where you can live a sensible life, it's not always about the extra money, it's about fulfillment, keeping your family happy. Well, I'm a little bit more materialistic than Josh. I've got the house, but I'm a bit of a home bird. Like, I've got baby Frankie, as you guys know, so I like to set myself up to be at home more, and I like to set things in place so I can spend more time with my family.
But that's what makes you happy.
Yeah, and that does make me happy.
That's what makes you happy. So that's the point. Like, do what makes you happy, not what other people are telling you to do. It's so important to stay in that lane. And like Joe's just said, he likes material things, so there's nothing wrong with that. And it's the financial thing. It's like, for me, I'm kind of at a financial point now where I'm cool. If I don't earn any more than that for the rest of my life and just stay at that figure, I'm cool, because my goal is actually to help. I want to help 1,000 people this year. Like that's my 2021 goal. But we've just introduced new packages that are actually 1/10 of the cost of those. So financially, I might not move, but I will be able to help a lot more people. And that's the goal for me, business-wise, this year. So yeah, stay in your lane. Just don't be influenced by other people. Really, don't be influenced by other people, because that time that like Joe's got, where he's turned down those promotions because he's got a family. Like, he doesn't want to miss that time with his family. He wants to enjoy that time with his family. So it's more important, and it's really important to get that message across. Definitely.
Yeah, cool. I think we can all get suckered into this Instagram lifestyle, and I've definitely been a sucker for it myself, and chasing all these lovely things. And I think a lot of these people who are pretending to be so happy, they're not.
Followers aren't everything either.
Oh, that's what we was going to come on to. Yeah. So I'll say this, and I don't want to offend Josh. So before I knew him, I used to be so caught up on followers. So Josh approached me to help him out. And I said, yeah, okay. And I went to help him out in a bit. I was a bit of sceptical, and I thought, well, the guy's he's following more people than following him. He's only got like a K followers at the time. And that's how, like, that is pathetic. Now that I think about it, like, that mindset is stupid. I thought this guy can't be earning a lot of money. None of that matters. Josh, tell us how little all of that matters, please.
I still get it now. I still get it now. But yeah, I've got 2,000 followers with a 6-figure business, so it doesn't matter about your following. And something that's always, I can't remember who told me now, but something that's always kind of stuck with me is look at your followers not as like a number. So it doesn't matter if you've got like 2k, 20k, 200k followers. Yeah, the more followers you have, it might help you a little bit more, it might speed up the process a little bit. But if you look at your followers as people, so 2,000 followers might not, like Joe's just said, like who the fuck's this guy? But if you look at those as real people actually in front of you, 2,000 people is a fucking lot of people. And I've personally spoke to each and every one of those people. I've had conversations with them. I do have regular conversations with a lot of them. Like I have that person. They're not just a follower to me. Yes, they're following me on that social media account. They're looking what I'm doing. They're looking what I'm posting. They're looking at my stories on Instagram, for example. But I know them as people, not as followers. And as soon as you can get that in your head, like 2,000 people is a lot of people. If you put them all in one room, it really is a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it's not all about a shit ton of followers. You can really capitalise on the people that you've got. It's like if you had 2,000 followers and you were just aiming to get 1% of those is paying clients, you've got 20 clients there just on your lap, ready to go, just by talking to them like people. And I think that's really important to get in your head. Don't chase followers because it doesn't matter. It's like when you have it's really funny actually talking about your avatar and kind of linking it. Do you know those women that are on social media that have like millions of followers because they've always got the boobs and the bums out?
Yeah.
Right. And then they try and sell like a workout plan. No one's going to buy it because 99% of their followers are young, horny guys just jacking off to their profile. So they don't know their avatar, so they're not maximising the followers that they've actually got. Whereas me, with my little 2,000, I know each and every one of them personally. And that's really important to get across.
Yeah, and this is like, think about followers as leads. So if you could have a load of shitty leads and bash out emails to them or DMs to them, and you're going to get nowhere, or you're going to get a very small percentage. But if you've got 2,000 highly qualified leads that you can speak to and that are going to position you as a market expert because they see your face, they see you turning up time and time again, providing value, they can't turn you down. Like, and again, you're not going to close every single one of those followers, but like you say, if you talk about percentages, you only need to get an average of say like £2 per follower per month, and you're not on a bad little wage, you know. Like,
it's like if you guys are selling like £1,000 marketing package, you got 2,000 followers, you're aiming for 1%, 20 clients, there's 20 grand a month for you. Oh, but he's only got 2,000 followers, yeah, but I'm on 20 grand a month. Doesn't matter.